Scoping this spot out for a while on the map. Here, I'll get some video for you for a short or something. I think I got my red guys. What's up guys, Chris from One More Cast. So I'm out here today with Salty Rich from Salty Rich Adventures. But yeah, we are exploring new grounds today. We're going to fish somewhere that we haven't fished in our kayaks yet. I fished it a couple times in my boat back when I had my boat, but now with me having a pedal drive and Rich having his motor, we're able to cover a lot more ground. We're able to go further and explore new places. So we're going to check out a spot that we think is going to do really good. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get out here today. It's my second trip in my new Hobie. Real quick, because I didn't really go over in my last video because I was so excited about the new kayak. My thoughts on the salt strong baits. Well, the lures themselves did pretty good. I mean, they did catch fish. I had, you know, multiple redfish chase that mulligan. I had multiple fish chase the top water. Skinny lipper I actually have tied on. I'm gonna try it again today. Didn't get anything on that. And that flea flicker, it was nice, but I do like the mirror lures better. I like the 17 MR quite a bit better than I do the flea flicker. So honestly, the flea flicker and that fat lipper I'll probably gift to my two boys. They love trying new lures all the time. But yeah, the Moonwalker, you know, it's a great top water. I do enjoy it. And the skinny lipper, I'm definitely gonna, it's my goal to catch a fish on that thing. So all around the lures they were really good lures. I mean, they worked, they got fish. I actually have that tweaker tied on still because I actually kind of liked that bait when I was using it. So got that tied on. I also have a 4-inch Z-Man diesel minnow, the beer run color. I've been seeing a lot of bigger greenies. You've seen in my last video, one of my last videos, there was a bunch of big greenbacks around me. But yeah, we're gonna get out here today, explore some new waters, and hopefully we can get some nice fish. I'd like to get a slam in this thing. But all around, you know, the salt strong baits, the lures, I mean, they work good. I just ran through them. I mean, I ran through a whole pack of mulligans in 2 days. I don't do that with Z-Mans. They're good, they catch fish, but I would definitely come out with, you know, a pack to 2 packs every trip, just in case you do run out. But and the hooks, I mean, I'm not a big fan of those hooks. I never really liked the twist lock. I'd recommend the owner hooks over those Haas Helix hooks. I've never had issues with owners ever. I've never really had issues with my Z-Man hooks, the Texas Eye, or even the ZWG hook. I've never had any issues with hookups, but for some reason I was having so many issues with that Haas Helix hook. I don't know what the difference is, but I would recommend using the owner twist lock over the Haas Helix. Other than the jig head, I mean, it's just a normal jig head. Any jig head will work, really. It looks like a good quality hook on it. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Hope you guys enjoy this video. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and, you know, hit that subscribe button. You know, like the video. Likes help me out a lot. But we're gonna go ahead and get out of here and start fishing. See you guys soon. Oh my god, that is a huge snook. I think he's got it. Got him. Oh yeah, this is a nice one. Come on, get some ground on him. There we go. That's a nice trout right there. Holy cow, look at this thing. We're gonna measure him up. That trout sickle right there, man. That color. I just got slammed on that color today, guys. That doesn't say something. Oh, that's a tarpon. Usually when they're short striking that top wire, you throw a paddle tail out and you'll normally get them to hit.
So what color do you think's been the best? You just been throwing Slam Shady?
For the salt strong stuff, there it is. A little trout. Yeah, I was throwing Slam Shady. I left this Turd Ferguson on though. I think I'm gonna give that some more shots. I'm gonna give this Turd Ferguson another shot. Right now, oh, I'm back on Z-Man. The Turd Ferguson's a tweaker one. I left.
They make it in a bunch of different. They use that color in a few different ones. I got it in the
Okay. Yeah, I got that on a tweaker. The mulligan I was throwing, there's a Slam Shady color, then there's another color. Oh man. There's definitely a bunch of small trout, I think. Alright, Rich has got himself a trout. Oh, looks like Rich is hooked up in something nice.
Got a red, buddy?
Yeah? Alright, Rich is hooked up to a red. Nice. Oh, that looks like a nice fish.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
I'm gonna go over here and get some footage for him. Yeah, we've been scoping this spot out for a while on the map. We've been sharing screenshots and stuff all week, trying to figure out where we want to fish, and we've been eyeballing this spot for a while now. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful red. Let's come over here and get some footage for him.
25 and a half.
That's a fatty. That's an absolute fatty right there.
Alright, guys.
Here, I'll get some video for you for a short or something.
Ooh. Mulligan doing it again, man. See if you can get a good release shot for me. You fired up, buddy? You ready to go? Alright. He kicks off right back down in the grass, guys. Man, they are camo down in there. You can tell that's why they love it.
Alright, I got this one. Alright, I think I'm in a red, guys. Not this way. It's fighting like a red. Oh, he's behind me. Oh, it's a snook. He just didn't come out of the water. Alright. It's not a bad one. Alright, there we go. Got a nice little snook. for real quick. There we go. Let's go straight back now. I'm gonna get off that mangrove edge so I don't blow into it. All right. Let's see. It's finally about time we get into something. All right. All right. There we go. A little snooky right there. A nice little snooky right here. Let's get this hook out of your mouth, bud. Fighting like a red for a little bit. There we go. Not too bad, about 23. It's around there. Alright. There he goes. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Little guy. Oh, I touched leader. Alright, I think Rich got his snook. He got his slam. Yeah, he got his slam over there. He got his snook. Nice. That's awesome. I think that's the first slam in his new boat. Not 100% sure, but I think so. I think I got my red, guys. I think I got my red on. I think I got a red on, guys. I was just saying too, I'm like, hey, let's run up this little mangrove edge real quick. I used to fish it a little bit back when I had a boat. It's not a big one like Rich's, but it's definitely go get my slam. There we go. Ah, got him. Yeah. Nice. Hey bud, I got my red.
Hell yeah.
Alright guys, right here. Alright. Let's see. A little bit of grass on him. I have a feeling he's gonna flop out of my hands. Alright, there we go. Alright, there we go. Little guy, probably like right at 18 inches. Alright, there we go. Should come out. There we go. Alright, first red in my new kayak. Beautiful fish. I'll make it official and land one of those trout. Oh, he was ready to go. All right, there we go, guys. That beer run never fails. Never fails. This color right here, that beer run color, nothing beats it. Oh, that was running kind of cool. I don't know what it was.
Maybe a little snook. I like seeing it right here.
Well, that's what just happened on the one I just had. I didn't feel him bump it, but like my line just came right to me, so he started like running to me. Alright, just lost a nice trout. What's up, guys? So heading back to the kayak launch now. Working my way back slowly. I wanted to kind of go over how I came to the decision on which kayak I wanted. So a lot of the influence came from those guys down in Matlacha. You know, all of them down there have Hobies, and I've talked to all of them. You know, Elon, Eloy, Justin, Shannon. I've talked to all of them about which one would be a good, suit for me. I mean, all the way up to my way down. I was talking to Eloy on the phone and Shannon, but I've been researching pedal drive kayaks for about a year now. You know, before the crack happened in my haul, I've just been doing a lot of research on them, which one I wanted. That way I'd be prepared for whenever I did get one. I've looked at the difference between the PDLs versus a fin drive. You know, I've looked at the Old Towns, I've looked at the Hoodoo, I've looked at, there's a company down in Sarasota, Sand Shark kayaks. I've looked at, the Van Hunks, Hobies. I mean, I've looked at so many different ones. And I thought I was locked in on the Jackson Kusa, the FD. That one was pretty cool because the fin kind of came up into the hull without having to pull the whole thing up. You had like 3 different settings. But yeah, that one was pretty cool. But yeah, I did a lot of research, I watched hundreds of videos on YouTube, to try to make my decision on which one I wanted. And it kind of brought me back to whenever I used to have my boat. When I got my boat, and they said that you want to look and see what you see the most of where you are, where you live. Down here we see a lot of Pathfinders, a lot of those Texas style boats, a lot of Carolina skiffs. And as far as fishing boats, you see a lot of Pathfinders, Texas style boats, and Carolina skiffs. So we decided to get a Carolina skiff. We didn't want to spend too much money, but we wanted to get out on the water. So we got a Carolina skiff. And that boat was great. It was a great boat. So I kind of did the same thing with kayak. You see a lot of Old Towns here, and you see a lot of Hobies. And I was going back and forth between both, and having fished out of a Titan, which we see a lot of Titans down here too. I fished out of a Titan once. I fished with Rick, who has an Old Town. He seems like he has to pull his drive a lot. We'll get into some shallow water. It seems like he has to pull his drive a lot. But it doesn't seem like it drafted too well with the drive in. And I remember when I went down fishing with Eloy, and I was in that Compass, I mean, we drafted pretty shallow with the fins down. So I started looking more, and I mean, anytime I'd go out fishing in my kayak, I'd just look around and see what other kayaks were around me. And about 90% of the kayaks that I had seen had been Hobies. So I mean, that says something. It says that, I mean, from my area, down here in Southwest Florida, Hobie's gonna be probably the best pick. I'm very glad I went with the Hobie, just because just today, I got this thing fairly shallow. I got this thing fairly shallow today, and I didn't have to pull my drive once. So that's what pretty much led me to the decision to get a Hobie. And as far as the Compass versus the Passport, because those are the two I was going to look at. The Outback would be a really nice boat to have one day, but as just getting, whenever you're spending that much money on a kayak, and at first, when I first started fishing out of the kayak, I'm like, who would spend that much money on a boat that small, like a kayak? Who does that? And once I started fishing out of a kayak, I'm like, oh, now I know why. The difference between fishing out of a kayak and a boat is crazy. It's ridiculous. I mean, I've landed so much more fish out of a kayak than I did in my boat. But yeah, it was a that's how I pretty much came to the decision. Is I see a lot of Hobies in my area, you know, and I've been on a Hobie and I've been on a PDL, and it's easier for me just to kick 1 foot forward and put the fins up against the bottom of the kayak and drift over a shallow spot than it is for me to have to pull the entire drive out. That's the way I kind of looked at it. Was whenever I hit a shallow spot, which you guys see, I fish shallow, very shallow, I would have ended up having to pull my drive a lot today if I had a PDL. So that's why I went the Hobies, because it's more suited for shallow water flats fishing than a PDL is, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working my way down. Just figure I'd do a little video on how I came to the decision of picking a Hobie over an Old Town. Both boats are very good boats though. I've heard great things about both boats. And like I said, I fished with people in Old Towns, I fished with people in Hobies, and none of the people that I fish with are ever, they never say, oh, I wish I would have got this instead. They all say that they are happy with the boat that they got. What's up, guys? So that's the end of the video. I got real slow there toward the end. I lost like 3 trout, like right at the boat. One, I got him up over the boat, and when I went to pull him up, he jumped off. So, I mean, technically, like, I touched him. You can count it. I'm not going to count it as my first official slam in my boat, though. I want to be able to hold it. I want to treat it like almost like a tournament. Like, I'm not holding that fish, then it kind of doesn't count. In tarpon tournaments, yeah, leader touch counts, but, you know, just, you know, and for me, I just not going to count it as a slam today. Technically, did I slam? Yeah, I touched leader, but I want to be able to hold the fish. So, but I did catch my first redfish in my kayak today, so that was really fun. Getting a trout today was rough. I mean, I hooked up on like 5 or 6 of them. I just couldn't get them to the boat. But it was a fun day out there. You know, I got out there with Rich. I always enjoy, you know, fishing out there with him. Now, I really like fishing with the guys down in Matlacha, but it's nice to have somebody in my area that I can just fish with, like, on a daily basis. You know, kind of like they do with each other down there. You know, a lot of them fish, you know, sometimes almost every weekend together. So, you know, I got Rick and Rich over this way that I get to get out and fish with, you know, as much as I really can. It's just a lot easier, you know, to meet up over here than it is to go down to Matlacha. I do want to start hitting down that way. I know me and Rich have been talking, but yeah, I've been talking to a couple of the guys down in Matlacha, Shannon and Eloy, and I'm gonna try to get out and fish with them pretty soon. We found some nice fish. It was just a little tough bite, but we probably could have went a little further east than we did. We decided to turn around and come back a little bit earlier. But all in all, it was a decent day out there. You know, it was a real slow day. Only got, you know, 2 fish in my boat. Got a couple fish to my boat, but they kind of fell off. But it's a real slow day. You know, I try to keep my videos between 20 and 30 minutes. What I try to keep them at. I like, sometimes I'll make some 40 minutes or so, but I try to keep them, like, that sweet spot's like 20 to 30 minutes. What I try to keep them at. So I went in and I threw a little bit of information on how I, you know, came to the decision on which kayak I actually wanted. So, even if there's not a lot of fishing in my videos, I do try to put a lot of information in my videos. So that way it's not completely like a waste of time. You're not watching a fishing video without taking something from it. But yeah, slow day. You know, can't wait to get out there again. You know, second time out in my new kayak, and I mean, it was awesome. I loved it. I absolutely loved being out there in this kayak. This pedal drive is just, this Hobie's complete game changer. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out here, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Once again, guys, likes, they help me out a lot. You know, eventually, you know, the more likes I get, the more I'll be able to do with my channel. I'll be able to go further. I'll be able to invest more into my channel. So those likes really help me out a lot. So like I said, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and if you want, turn on the bell notification so you're notified when I post a new video. Remember, guys, always time for one more cast. I'll see you later.